Hey y'all, I wanted to post a video today, so I got on Instagram and asked if anybody had any questions that they wanted me to answer. I'm going to try to keep this under 10 minutes because I want to just flip it right onto YouTube and we can all move on with our lives. I don't really feel like editing today. So the first question I got was, when will Warglitter 2 come out? The original plan was February, and here we are in March. It's looking like it's going to be more like the summer. When you look at what is actually in Warglitter 1, that is stuff that I wrote over the course of, well, years. But most of the larger, I guess all of the larger essays I wrote in 2018, but I wrote them kind of over a period of time. And then the other stuff I took from my journal from over time. And I just think that if that's what I want to do, and I think it'll just be something that doesn't happen as often. But that's why in the meantime I've been putting out some smaller stuff. I just put out a zine that is a short story that I wrote back in, I want to say 2013, for a creative writing class. And I've been making some small, one-page zines when I get home from work, just for something to do. So it might be a while on Warglitter 2. It might not be until, I don't know, summer. It might not be until summer. So, and then another question that I got was, how do you decide what to make your zines about? I don't know. It depends. So, okay. The first zine that I made was a one-page zine, and I think I have it. Where is it? Here it is. So the first one I made was this one about a mermaid who fell in love with a star, and I basically just started drawing the cover and then decided as I went along what the storyline was going to be and what each panel. Hey babies. Hello. And what each panel was going to look like. And so for this I drew all of the pictures and I wrote everything out by hand, but then I cut them all out and put them together on the paper. So it's not all hand drawn together on the same page. I still did a lot of cut and paste with that, and kind of could refine how I positioned things and that kind of thing as I went along. And all of them, all of the one-page mini zines that I have, I did the same thing. I literally just folded it into the booklet and then just started with the first page and then just worked my way through, and it ended up being what it was just from doing it. The ones that I made last week, I think I made all of these last week, or maybe over the last week and a half. Essentially the exact same thing. This one that I made is called Baby Won't You Come My Way. I initially intended for this to be about the Fetty Wap song, and it ended up not being about the Fetty Wap song. It ended up being about a friend of mine who died, and that's just how it worked out, because I started writing about what was happening in 2015 when this song was really popular. So that's just where it went. That was not the plan. And then when I got to the end, I was like, oh, I better mention Fetty Wap one more time, because I ended up writing something totally different than I meant to. And that's pretty much what happened with all of them. This one, I didn't start with the cover. I started with the second page, I think. Yeah, I started with this page. the Don't Talk to Me Until I've Had My Coffee page. This I wrote based on a conversation I had with my hairstylist that morning about how, like, people are snobby about taking one mood-altering substance over another, which is preposterous. If you have to have your morning coffee in order to talk to people in the morning, then you shouldn't be shaming people who need some kind of mood-altering substance in order to deal with you and your stupid horse shit. So that's what that was about. And it really just started with the idea that like the Don't Talk to Me Until I've Had My Coffee, and then the One Love coffee mug. And I'm like kind of played with the way it was folded so that there would be a cover page, but originally this was the first page that I did. So it was just kind of like whatever came to me while I was doing it. For this one that I made last week, it's sort of based on a song by Devendra Banhart, sort of. I just wanted to draw moths, but I didn't want to take the time to look up what moths look like, so I just drew fake, like fictional moths. And then like this guy is really weird and creepy, and that one's kind of like your typical butterfly. And this one is a moth, and the pattern on it is other moths. And I just felt like doing it, and then I had this song stuck in my head, and I was like, it sounds kind of like a nighttime song. It works with moths, that's fine. So like some of them, like the Warglitter Zine, or the Carly Rae Jepsen zine, those are really, really planned out. All of the, like I have the Carly one here, all of the collages and everything, all of this was really, really planned out. I did it all cut and paste by hand, and I really wanted it to look like kind of a cross between a Bop, like the Teen Bop magazine, from the mid-90s that would have like JTT on the cover, and then a Riot Girl magazine. Like I wanted it to look like a very, very squeaky clean version of a Riot Girl magazine, and so that was very thought out. Whereas the other ones, not so much. And then Guilt, which is a short story, that is just a story I've been telling for a long time and thought I should write it down, and I thought it was wholesome enough to share with my students. And then this one was just a short story that I wrote for a class that I was taking. It's called The Silver Guitar, and we were supposed to retell fairy tale or a myth, and I retold sort of the myth of Orpheus, part of it. And I just really liked that story, and it occurred to me that I could publish it myself. So that's what I decided to do. Excuse me, sorry Peanut. Just scared my dog because I dropped a notebook. Now I'm in the darkness. Okay. So yeah. It really just kind of depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes I just want to sit down and make something, so I just see where it takes me, and it works out really well or it doesn't, and I just try to not have a real hard and fast what would you call that? Not connection, but like I don't know, I don't want to hold on to what I'm hoping the outcome will be. I just want to do it. And then in other situations, I know exactly what I want the outcome to be, and I just have to give up on the idea that it will actually come out exactly like I was hoping. So yeah, please let me know if you have any more questions that you'd like me to answer. You can leave them down here in the comments, or you can hit me up on Instagram, and I will answer your questions for you. Thanks.